Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're here, chances are you're getting ready to tackle the IELTS speaking test and you want to absolutely nail it. Well, you've come to the right place, because today, we're diving deep into two critical areas that can skyrocket your score: perfect pronunciation and impactful vocabulary. This isn't just about sounding good. It's about being understood effortlessly and impressing the examiner with your linguistic prowess. So, grab a notepad, a cup of tea, and let's get started. First up, let's talk about pronunciation. Many students get a little intimidated by this, thinking they need to sound like a native speaker. Let me tell you, that's a myth. The goal isn't to erase your accent, it's to be clear, natural, and easy to understand. The examiner isn't looking for a perfect British or American accent. They're assessing your ability to produce individual sounds, word stress, sentence stress, and intonation accurately. So, where do we begin? Let's start with individual sounds. English has sounds that might not exist in your native language. For instance, the th sound, as in think or this, can be tricky. Or the difference between ship and sheep. Practicing these sounds in isolation and then in words is crucial. A great technique is to use minimal pairs, words that differ by only one sound, like cat and cut, or fan and van. Try recording yourself saying these words and then comparing them to a native speaker's pronunciation. You'd be surprised how much you can improve by just focusing on these small distinctions. Next, we move to word stress. This is where we emphasize certain syllables within a word. Think about photograph versus photographer versus single quotes pho-2-gra-phic. The meaning might stay the same, but incorrect word stress can make you sound unnatural and potentially confuse the listener. When you learn new vocabulary, always pay attention to where the stress falls. Look it up in a dictionary. Usually, there's a symbol indicating the stressed syllable. Make it a habit to practice new words aloud, paying attention to their rhythm. Then there's sentence stress. In English, we don't stress every word equally. We typically stress content words, nouns, main verbs, adjectives, and adverbs because they carry the most meaning. Function words, articles, prepositions, conjunctions, are usually unstressed. For example, in the sentence, I want to go to the park. The stressed words are want, go, and park. This natural rhythm makes your speech flow much better and easier to follow. Practicing reading sentences aloud, identifying the key words to stress, can really boost your fluency and naturalness. And finally, intonation. This is the rise and fall of your voice. Intonation conveys meaning and emotion. For example, a rising intonation often indicates a question, while a falling intonation usually signals a statement or the end of a thought. Monotone speech can make you sound boring or even unsure. Varying your pitch and tone shows confidence and engages the listener. Try listening to native English speakers in podcasts, movies, or TV shows. Pay attention to how their voice goes up and down, and then try to mimic it. Don't be afraid to exaggerate a little when you practice. It helps to embed the pattern. Remember, clear pronunciation means you're not just speaking English, you're communicating effectively. Now, let's pivot to vocabulary, your secret weapon for a higher band score. The IELTS examiner is looking for a wide range of vocabulary, used accurately and appropriately. This means moving beyond basic words and incorporating more sophisticated and precise language. But it's not just about memorizing a long list of fancy words. It's about understanding their nuances and using them in context. A common mistake is trying to use complex words incorrectly. It's far better to use simpler vocabulary accurately than to misuse advanced words. The goal is to impress, not to confuse. So, how do we build a robust and ready-to-use vocabulary for the IELTS speaking test? One of the most effective strategies is thematic vocabulary. Instead of learning random words, group them by common IELTS topics. Think about themes like environment, education, technology, hobbies, work, family, travel, and food. For each theme, create a list of nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs that are specific to that topic. For example, for environment, you might learn words like sustainable, biodiversity, deforestation, renewable energy, conservation, and carbon footprint. This way, when a question about the environment comes up, you have a bank of relevant words ready to deploy. Another powerful technique is learning collocations. These are words that naturally go together. For example, we say make a decision, not do a decision. Or heavy rain, not strong rain. Using natural collocations makes your English sound much more authentic and fluent. When you learn a new word, don't just learn its definition. Try to find out which other words it commonly pairs with. Online collocation dictionaries can be incredibly helpful here. Make a habit of noting down collocations in your vocabulary journal. Synonyms and antonyms are your best friends for expanding your vocabulary and avoiding repetition. Instead of saying very good 10 times, you can use excellent, outstanding, superb, remarkable, or fabulous. Knowing a range of synonyms allows you to express yourself with greater precision and variety. Similarly, antonyms help you articulate contrasts effectively. When you learn a new word, always look up its synonyms and antonyms and try to use them in example sentences. Idioms and phrasal verbs can also really boost your score, but use them cautiously. They need to be used naturally and appropriately. Don't just pepper your speech with idioms if they don't fit the context, or it might sound forced. Choose a few common ones that you understand well and feel comfortable using. For example, instead of saying I often study late, you could say I often burn the midnight oil. Or instead of I was very happy, I was over the moon. Practice integrating them into your daily English conversations. A great way to practice both pronunciation and vocabulary together is to record yourself speaking. Choose an IELTS speaking prompt, give yourself 2 minutes to answer, and record it. Then, listen back critically. Where did you stumble on pronunciation? Were there any words you repeated too much? Could you have used more precise or advanced vocabulary? This self-assessment is incredibly valuable. You can also use online tools or apps that provide feedback on your pronunciation. Don't forget the power of extensive reading and listening. Reading articles, books, and watching English language news or documentaries exposes you to a vast array of vocabulary and context. Pay attention to how words are used, and make a note of interesting phrases or expressions. Actively listening to podcasts or interviews not only helps with vocabulary but also with understanding natural speech patterns, intonation, and rhythm. The more you immerse yourself, the more natural your English will become. And a quick tip on confidence. A huge part of sounding good is feeling good about what you're saying. If you're stressed about making mistakes, it will show in your voice. Practice regularly, get comfortable with your material, and remind yourself that it's okay to make errors. Everyone does. The key is to learn from them and keep improving. So, to recap, for pronunciation, focus on individual sounds, word stress, sentence stress, and intonation. For vocabulary, build thematic lists, learn collocations, explore synonyms and antonyms, and use idioms and phrasal verbs appropriately. And always practice recording yourself and engaging with authentic English content. By diligently working on these areas, you're not just preparing for a test, you're developing essential communication skills that will serve you far beyond the IELTS exam. You're building confidence, clarity, and competence in English. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope these tips give you a clear roadmap to achieving your desired IELTS speaking score. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more IELTS insights, and let me know in the comments what other topics you'd like us to cover. Keep practicing, stay positive, and you've got this. See you in the next one.